Good afternoon, everyone. It is 2 o'clock on Saturday, the 24th of February, and I'm just sitting down at my dining table and about to do some brainstorming for my goals. And I actually thought that it might be good to kind of show you guys my process, how I plan things out and map things out. I thought some of you might find it useful. Some of you will think that this is a little bit over the top, but before anyone calls me psycho, I am a project manager in my day job. So of course I bring elements of that into my personal life as well. So I can appreciate that this is a bit of a weird start to a vlog. It's not what I intended, but again, I just thought that some of you might find this useful, so I thought I would record it and walk you guys through what I kind of do when it comes to goal setting and achieving those goals, and the in-between, the planning out. So anyway, I thought I would pick up the camera now and just start it from here. So this is giving, I will say, it is giving my old YouTube channel vibes where I would sit at the dining table and just kind of do talking videos. This will still be a vlog, but for this part, yes, it is going to be just me sitting down and kind of talking to you and explaining things. So the first thing is, as I said in my last video, I am selling my house, and there is obviously a lot that kind of goes up into that lead up for selling your house. So as I have the tendency to kind of be impatient and want things done 5 minutes ago, and also I have the tendency to want to do everything really quickly and at once, and become overwhelmed because I'm not physically able to move fast enough. This is where my goal setting and my project management comes into play, and so that's what I want to do now, whilst I have some time to just plan everything out, clear my head. That means that I get a better night's sleep, and it also just makes me a nicer person because I'm less stressed. So again, I just thought I would just walk you through the process. So maybe if you're kind of like me, and you're impatient and anxious and have the tendency to stress yourself out, this might help. So anyway, I've got paper. Usually I like to do this in a nice notebook, but I wasn't planning on doing this just yet, so paper will have to do, and I've got a pen, and that's pretty much all I need to do. Sometimes I go really fancy and I pull out a corkboard, particularly when I've got many goals, different goals that I'm trying to achieve at once. That kind of helps to map it out, but for today we're just going to focus on the one. So I guess step one, and I've not planned this out in a way that's probably going to make this logical for people, so please just bear with me. We'll just have to go with the flow as I'm doing this. So I guess step one is you want to write what this project is, what this goal is, what you're hoping to achieve. So in this case, it's obviously to sell my house. And you guys are going to probably see how childish my writing is, but anyway, that's just how it is. So obviously set what it is up the top, so that you don't get distracted. Again, I have the tendency to do that. This gives you, your focus for this particular planning session. Next, and this probably hints at my more spiritual side, I definitely don't do this in my project management, or at least I don't title it this. So I guess this is mapping out the objective of your project. For my personal goals, I call it my intention, which is basically just putting out into the universe exactly what you are hoping to achieve with this goal. So this part I find tends to be quite personal. So it's whether it's like in this case, selling my house for X amount of dollars is, I guess, the intention for this one. Mapping out why you want to sell it for that amount of dollars, what that will kind of lead to, what doors that opens up, all of that kind of thing. So I would definitely just spend some time just like mapping your intention. And I'm not going to write it here today because knowing me, I'll end up holding it up and putting it in front of the camera, and that just makes it a little bit more, a little bit less private. So I'm going to leave the space for mapping out my intention. Again, we are showing my spiritual side of things here. I think it's important to put the energy out there into the universe, just so you're on the same page and you know exactly what you're aiming for, and if you are spiritually inclined, what the universe will kind of help to achieve. I'm going to leave my intention blank for now, just while I'm doing this in front of camera, but I will fill that in later. And then I guess the next part is to map out like the big items that you have to, or the big deliverables, again, project management speak, that you want to achieve in order to sell your house. So for me, this is kind of like an overarching, almost like bigger to-do list, where it's less like nitty-gritty details though, it's more high level. So for me, and this is just a rough list at this stage, so it doesn't have to go in any particular order, it's just as you think of things. So for me, it is repainting the house, it is having the house styled, it is engaging a real estate agent, it is engaging a conveyancing lawyer. You can obviously not, like, you don't have to do this on paper if you don't want to. I'm definitely a pen to paper person. Of course, I'm sure that there are many ways to do this, you know, on your computer or whatever. I just like the physical touch of paper and the sound of my pen on the paper, and it just feels like it's more like there's more intention behind it, and you're more clear about what you want because you're actually, you know, putting in the effort to physically write it. That's just the way I see it anyway. I'm all about putting intention behind actions, because I just think that it makes it more powerful. And again, that's my spiritual side talking. You can do what you want, but yeah, this is just how I feel about it. So what else do I need to do? I need to, what's the word? Replace flooring, give the house a deep clean, complete laundry, finish under stairs. And this will all make sense. I'll open these up a little bit more, so that you guys know what I'm actually like talking about. I think that's it for now that I can think of off the top of my head. Obviously, as you kind of like get deeper into the detail, other things will pop up, and you can add them to this list again. So literally, I've just written a dot point list of, again, those key deliverables. Now we are going to open these up a little bit more and think about a little bit more of the process to achieve each of these deliverables. So the first one I've written is like repainting the house. And so within that, this is when you kind of go into detail, and this might actually get a little bit long. What's my camera at? Oh, we're fine. So, you know, you can always skip ahead, and I'll try and keep this as short as possible. So with this deliverable, repainting the house, so what that will entail, I guess for other people it might be something like, are you going to engage a painter or are you going to do it yourself? For me, I want to do it myself. I don't care about painting. I mean, it sucks. Sorry to all the painters out there. I think it's an awful job, but at the same time, it's one of those ones that I'm confident that I can do myself, maybe with my family and friends if they want to help out. That would be good. But my house is small as well, so there's just not much point in getting, you know, a whole crew out here. I'm sure they could do it in like less than a day, and it will take me time, but that's okay. We'll deal with that. So so repainting the house, so to do that, I need to, you know, clean the walls because Bella's room. And then I've got to patch some walls. So, you know, as you're moving furniture around and things like that, my house has, you know, some marks in the walls, some dents in the walls that just need to have some plaster put over them. So we've got to do that. And then obviously I'll have to buy the paint. That, and then obviously paint walls. Oh, actually no. Cross that one out. I've got to remove or move furniture, like clear space. And again, like this is like more of a to-do list now for each of these. And then obviously paint walls and ceilings. And then, so I'm pretty satisfied that that's like a pretty clear list. Obviously, you know, with some things, with some deliverables, there's going to be obstacles that you didn't think of or tasks that you didn't think of, and you can always go back and add them. But for the general gist of the thing, like that's pretty clear. And then you just literally go through all your deliverables and do the same thing. So having the house styled. So here it's engage, actually I would say seek quotes for stylist, engage stylist. My thing as well is there will be, because I kind of did like my own walk through the house yesterday and kind of thought about exactly, you know, what I need a stylist to do for me. So the lounge room is definitely something that I need their help with, just because Ben and I, obviously we don't have our couches that we want when we move in together and things like that. So I don't want to, and my couch, sorry, is just not fit for purpose, which again I've spoken about in my last video. So I don't want to buy like a temporary couch or anything like that. I think it would just be better to get a stylist. So yeah, I've done my walkthrough and worked out exactly what I want them to do, but also what I can kind of do to help alleviate the costs as well. So part of that will be going through and purchasing, you know, bits of decor that, yeah, will just help with the sale of the house. So going off that, I think then it will be, you know, write a list of decor items. So, and then go shopping. So buy decor items. Have furniture installed. Again, this may not be written as I'm thinking of it. It may not be written in order. I'm trying to do it as in order as possible, so that it's just easier when we do the next step. Have furniture installed. Style spaces. I should probably, no, that can be part of that one. Okay, cool. Having the house styled. Maybe I'd also put pay stylist. Just so you don't forget, you know? You don't want people to be unpaid. And then the next one is engaging a real estate agent. I know the names of the agents that I want. It's just about me picking up the phone and calling them. So that'll be something that I can do sort of next week. I would say that the top of this list is engage. Actually, I would say go meet with real estate agent would be the first dot point. And then part of that obviously is photos for listing. And then, yeah, yes. I might actually under this put, actually no, for my deliverables, I would say list house on market. So like I said, like this is subject to change. Like you can do your deliverables at first and you might think of something that is something you neglected. And then the next one is, what are we at in terms of length of time? Oh, 24 minutes, cool. Yeah, so the next one is engaging a conveyancing lawyer. Wonder, I might just, instead of list house on market, I might change that to sell house. And then list house on market will be part of that to-do list. I think that just makes a little bit more sense. And then there, I'll talk more about, you know, like signing contracts and things like that. So the sell house to-do list, I can already tell now, is going to be like almost like a catch-all. Once this is all up and running, it'll be, yeah, that, yeah, sign contracts, do all that kind of thing. So that one I know will be expanded when we get to that stage. But then we've also got replace flooring. Well, by the time this video goes up, I will have met and sought 3 quotes from 3 different flooring specialists. Just gave me a call, which was nice. So I took a little bit of a break. And now I've got to remember where the hell I'm up to. Okay, we're talking about flooring. So pick flooring, engage flooring company, have floors installed. Oh, spelling errors. Then the next one is deep clean. That's the deep clean part. Then the next one is to complete the laundry. So I want to complete the laundry. So as you guys know, I just had the shelves put in. So I need to, however, I still haven't done the no more gaps. No more gaps around shelves. I will need to add bench space. Add bench, and I will need to get Dad to install ironing board hooks. And then I've got to finish under the stairs. So under the stairs at the moment, it's got some shelving. It's very messy. But I also had started painting it a darker color because I was going to renovate under the stairs and turn it almost into a walk-in pantry. Again, because I'm not going to be here, I'm not going to bother with that. So instead I will go in and repaint it all white again. And then I need to measure for new shelves. That's that. And then the final deliverable is to sell the house. So this part will be like listing go live. Then it'll be open homes. And then it will be negotiate, I guess. Again, this is just a brain dump. This is what you assume will happen, and the steps that it might take. Do I want to include that in there? Because then that's welcoming that. It's like putting intention or saying that that's going to happen. See, this is the time when it's difficult to be like realistic versus spiritual, because I don't want to attract the potential for negotiation. Let's cross that out, because we're not allowing for that. Sign contract, pack. I guess another thing is what's really important when you're goal setting is you should always have like an end date. Sorry, I'm just looking at how long I've been talking for and how long this video is going to be. I might actually have to do this separate. I don't know. We'll see. Anyway, so you should have an end date. I mean, it goes to that quote that's like, you know, a goal without an end date or whatever it says is just a dream. That is so true. So you do need like a final kind of like drop dead date. However, again, because this is a one that like you don't have complete control over, you can't really do that drop dead date. So instead, what I'm going to be working with is when the listing goes live and it's officially on the market, that's kind of like my project end date for now, which I want that by, what is the date? So it's the 24th of February. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks. I feel like, is that reasonable? 6 weeks and then we go on the market. Yeah, we're gonna do listing go live. Maybe we'll do it by the 1st of April. That's 5 weeks away. For the first open home to be from the 6th of April. I think that's reasonable. I mean, there's a lot to do, but I feel like it's all manageable. So I can hear little feet upstairs. So I'll see what she wants. I bet you it's a snack. I could hear you running around. What's going on?
Can I have something to eat? I'm hungry.
Oh, you're hungry. You want a snack, do you? What snack do you want? You can have a yogurt. There's a yogurt. You can take the pouch upstairs. Don't spill.
I did not spill.
Because I know you. And please make sure that you throw the rubbish out down in this bin. No, you're not having that as well. You're having cake tonight.
Bye.
Bye.
Love you.
Told you it would be a snack. So it's my birthday dinner tonight as well. We always do like a family dinner. So I went to dinner the other night with Ben, just the two of us. And that was really yummy. But we always have mum. When I say, actually no, yeah, every one of us. Ben not yet, because he hadn't met my family at his last birthday. Even my sister's husband, so my brother-in-law, I always refer to him as my sister's husband, I don't know why. But he even gets his own birthday dinner as well that mum cooks. So we all put in a request when it comes to birthday time. And I think Nathan, my sister's husband, he doesn't put in a request, I don't think, but mum always does something a little bit fancy. He loves lamb, so it's always like a lamb dish that mum cooks him. My sister and I though, we always request something Vietnamese, and it's not necessarily something that's like fancy that mum never cooks. It's just our favorite Vietnamese dish. And then I asked my sister to order a Black Forest cake, because Black Forest cakes, it's my favorite cake in the world if it's done well. And so she's done that, she's ordered that, and so we're having that for dessert, and I'm just so excited. But so anyway, so with Bella, she wanted some flavored oat milk for afternoon tea, which is a bit of a treat because it has sugar in it, and so that's why I said no, because she's about to have cake tonight. But anyway, we are at 20 minutes. I mean, I'm still sitting here doing this with you. So anyway, now the next step of this now is the kind of the roadmap. It's just basically bringing all of these like individual to-do lists almost together in a timeline so that you can see what can be achieved, you know, simultaneously. So it helps with the progress of the project, particularly when you're dealing with tight time frames like I'm trying to achieve. And I'm just gonna get myself comfortable. Give me a sec. yeah, so it basically just shows you what can be achieved at the same time, what you can be working at the same time. Sorry, my auntie just messaged me for my birthday. She's a little bit late, but that's okay. She's a busy lady. So anyway, so now what I like to do is I like to kind of create columns for each of the deliverables. So in this case, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we're going to do 9 columns, which is probably a little bit ambitious given, actually I might do 2 pieces of paper side by side, and I'm going to divide them into 3s. Doesn't have to be perfect, it just needs to be something so that your brain can kind of see what can be worked on at the same time. So literally just in 3s. All right. So here we go. I will probably end up taping these together because I'm just that way inclined. But I will grab a ruler and we're going to start off by writing the deliverables up the top just so we know which column is for which. Hold on. I'm going to need a 3rd piece of paper, aren't I? I'm sure you all realise that way before me. Might be afternoon tea time for me too. I think my brain's turning into mush. It's running out of fuel. So this is the part that I enjoy, I think, the most because it just puts more realistic expectations on myself, really, to see what I can achieve. And it will also help confirm the it'll help confirm whether that listing go live date is achievable, because obviously that does, for it to go live, we do need to do the things like the photos and all of that kind of thing for, you know, everything. So sorry, for the photos for the listing, etc. And which means that the house has to be, you know, at a certain point to even do something like that. So it will just confirm that with me. Whether I have to push it back a week, I mean, it's not something I want to do, but it, you know, just helps with that. So, and this also helps with like just planning your week in general as well. Because you can look at this and you can see what's next to achieve, what you can achieve that week. It also, you know, like we've got a trip to Sydney in March, and so obviously that like wipes out that weekend. But it helps me, yeah, kind of plan around social things like that. So I've taped them together because, like I said, I'm that way inclined. I need things to be neat, so that my brain is like clear. Now, this is where we kind of go through our to-do lists. And I know that some people are going to say this is overkill, but honestly, trust me, when you are busy in life, cutting out this time to plan things in this way, particularly things that are important to you, you wouldn't do this for something that wasn't important to you. So here we go. So we're going through our to-do list that we've just created, and we're just going to map out kind of where things fit, and it'll make more sense in a minute, but you can see what parts of each to-do list you can do simultaneously, and what needs to, you know, wait for this deliverable to be achieved before you can finally deliver this one. So as an example, you know, repainting the house, or actually having the house styled, I can't do that before the house is repainted or before the flooring goes down. So that one relies on those ones being delivered. So, and again, this just maps it out. This is called a roadmap, and projects. Again, I do it in my day job all the time. This is how we kind of work out the projects, and what steps they have to take to be delivered. So painting the house. So we've got to clean walls and ceiling. So the repainting the house is something that can be achieved now and isn't relying on anything else. Cool. So once that one is done, I like to just do like a little like mark to show that it's gone onto the roadmap already, just so I don't get confused. And what I'm actually going to do as well is I'm going to do lines across all of the roadmap into all the columns, just so the we can see what can be done simultaneously. It's like it just maps it out clearer. But anyway, the next one is having the house styled. So seeking quotes for stylist. So we will put that as like that one is fine. We can do that at the same time as cleaning the walls. So that's cool. And then the next one is meet with real estate agent. So I'm gonna spend some time doing this just in the to try and cut things short. I'll see you in a bit once I've kind of mapped this out, and then I'll talk you through it and show you, yeah, how it's done. Okay, so I have now finished the roadmap, which I don't know how well you can see it. But you can see where I've kind of crossed out under some of the deliverables where I'm not going to be able to action anything for that one until something else has been achieved. So it just makes that all clear on what's contingent on what. And also I've blacked out, you know, when a deliverable has been finalized and is up and running. The next thing that I like to do is, and for those who aren't in project management, there's this project management methodology. It's actually used across quite a few. It's called Agile, and it might come in different variations. But basically, one of the principles of that is to do some, like, it's called sprint planning. And a sprint is like when you're running, a sprint is a short distance. In this case, it's a short amount of time, and it's essentially mapping out what you'll achieve in the next week or 2 weeks. And again, just providing that further clarity on what you are focusing on now, so that you don't get, you know, bogged down in future things that, again, you can't do yet or you can't action yet because you're still waiting on other stuff to be done. So again, this will help me to achieve. So I've highlighted the 1st of April as the listing go live and the open homes being hopefully the 6th of April. So it's just working out on those deadlines and just making sure that this is achievable. So this is where you would kind of work backwards. And whilst I am an impatient person, as I've said many times in this video, I'm still realistic. Like, you're not going to try and set yourself up for failure, because that's when you can lose motivation. And we don't want to do that because we've got shit to achieve. So I'm going to now spend some time just kind of working backwards and seeing whether this is achievable. And I'm not going to do anything extensive, but it will just be like, okay, for this sprint, is this chunk of work doable? And I'm going to highlight what's going to be focused on in each sprint, just so, again, I can see whether or not this is actually achievable. Another thing that you do have to consider when planning as well is also like your financial side of things. So as an example, you know, paying for the flooring. Am I going to have enough money to pay for the flooring within this set amount of time? Or you know, just things like that. And whether then, instead of, you know, paying for the flooring in this sprint if it's, you know, if I need another fortnight or whatever for pay to come through? Can I instead maybe focus on something else and, you know, push that one back? Whilst, you know, the tasks that are in like the same line can be done at the same time, doesn't mean necessarily that they will. It just means that they are kind of good to go at this time. Again, like anything that is past, I would say, the first sprint, just be aware that, you know, that might change the second sprint onwards, and things may need to move around, and that's part of that being agile. So it's being flexible, basically maintaining your flexibility and understanding that life does happen and things don't always go to plan. And even though, you know, something like again with the flooring, just say I engage the flooring company and they don't quite have enough stock. When will that stock come in? What can I focus on instead? Where can I like pivot my attention to elsewhere to keep things still tracking along? Because we're not just, you know, stuck in a position where it's a to-do list in and it's linear. There are many moving parts to this. So it's yeah, just making sure that you can achieve things still even when road bumps happen. Okay, so I have gone through, I've decided that the sprints are going to be 1 week sprints. And it'll just because it'll flow better that way. And so I've mapped out exactly the dates. It's just Sunday through to the following Saturday. And I've also kind of just made myself rough notes what each sprint kind of entails, or what it already includes in the calendar. So as I said, we've got that Sydney weekend away. So I've added that in, and obviously that'll take me out of action for 2 days. And then we've also got like Easter, obviously at the end of March, and beginning of April. So that immediately told me that my listing go live date is not going to be the 1st of April. So now I'm hoping for the 2nd of April, which will be enough time, I think, for people to see it online and then come to the first open home on the 6th of April. And then what I just went and did was highlighted which tasks are to happen in the relevant sprints, which they've got the matching colors there. And that's essentially it. So it is keeping in mind, obviously, what I said, like what we have in the calendar, what availability I will have, how likely it is to achieve certain things in that time frame. There are, you know, on the 3rd sprint, which is the 10th of March to the 16th of March, which is our Sydney weekend, there are fewer things highlighted for that week, but I do have sort of bigger tasks. So that will involve painting walls and ceilings, which is obviously going to be time consuming, but it's something that I'm confident I can do after work overnight. So that's what will be my focus there. And then we've got still some of the tasks which are not highlighted, and that's just because obviously we're targeting for the go live and the open homes for the house to actually be on the market. The rest of it will flow from the house being sold, which it will, and for the money that I want as a minimum, and it'll all be an easy process. Just telling the universe, just putting that out there. But yeah, so anyway, this is going to be my Bible for this task at the moment, for this goal, sorry, at the moment. And I'm going to keep everything, again, remembering this is subject to change. Life isn't perfect. It's not going to go perfectly, but it's about trying to stay on track as possible, and also having that knowledge now mapped out that, you know, while I'm waiting for quotes for the for a quote from the stylist, there are still other things that I can focus on in this sprint and tick them off that way. So now what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to get my day planner, which I have no idea where it is at the moment. Oh, there it is in the lounge room. So I'm just going to now add all of the tasks that I want to do this week, and that's just going to be how I kind of run my life from now on until this is achieved. You can always run different goals or a number of goals at the same time. I'm not here to tell you that you can't. I definitely normally do, and this is a process that you could even do at the beginning of the year or at the end of the year to kind of set your intentions for the new year, set your goals, do your New Year's resolutions. Like, this is all very handy. It won't be as intense as this, and for that reason, because this process is so intense, I'm only going to be focusing on this goal outside of work. I just want to put all my energy into this because I find I get better results, particularly on the spiritual side of things when I'm manifesting. So here, obviously, I'm manifesting a certain dollar amount, and I don't want my energy to be spread too thin. I want it to be focused on this, because when I do have less goals that I'm focusing on, the results are always better. So for now, we're just going to leave this as it is, and I'm just going to plan out my week and just make things run a little bit more smoothly. This week is going to be quite intensive. My contract start date has had to be pushed back just because of some paperwork side of things, and that's, again, just what happens, right, with life. So because I do have this extra week up my sleeve, it does mean that I have jam-packed this week before I hit the ground running in the new role. So yeah, a large portion of the to-do list is for this week, and so now I've got to go and plan it just so I know to get my butt moving. And I'm actually quite happy that this week will be busy because I'm so bored. Like, I've had enough time off now. It was great in the beginning, and was definitely very indulgent, but now I'm ready to work again. Good morning, everyone. It is Wednesday, the 28th of February, and I'm just sitting here and I'm editing this week's vlog, and I'm quickly learning how this has the potential to be incredibly long. So to avoid it being, hours long, not that long, but over an hour long, I'm going to keep the content focused just on the project management stuff. So the content that I took on Saturday, and I'm not going to include the rest of the content that I've recorded, just because, one, for the sake of time, but two, also because it's not that interesting. I mean, it involves a trip to Bunnings, which I think we can all agree isn't, the most riveting of content. So I just wanted to hop on here and wrap this vlog up, because obviously I haven't done that yet. And what I'm planning to do is actually just pick up the camera again and start next week's vlog today. We have officially kicked off the process for putting this house on the market and selling it. We started it on Monday, so far this week I have met with a bunch of flooring companies. I have locked in my real estate agent. I'm actually waiting for a call back from the conveyancing lawyer, which I'm going to give them another call. It's talking about what I've done this week has just reminded me. I've also hired a storage unit so that we can move all the stuff that we are trying to get out of the house to declutter it for sale. So I'll start moving stuff there. So we actually on Sunday went into Bella's room, and the toys that she wouldn't miss for the next few months, they have gone in a box, so I can start moving that off site as well, which feels really good. And for the rest of the week, I've got a couple more appointments. I've got, who do I have? I have 2 home styling appointments, so with 2 different companies. I think that I know who I'm going to select just from talking to one of them. We just seem to vibe really well, and I think that they understand what I want and my vision, but they haven't come on site yet. So I've got those two over Thursday and Friday, and I'm trying to keep an open mind for the other business in case, in case they might provide a better service, but we'll see. And that's about all. I've patched the walls now with the exception of a space in the living room ceiling. I had to talk to Dad and get his advice on how to do that properly. So I spoke to him yesterday afternoon, and I'm going to finish that one off today, and then I've got to sand, and I've bought some liquid soap as well so I can kind of give the walls a bit of a clean before we start painting them. I just want to make sure that, the paint will go on properly and smoothly. Otherwise, we are on track so far for our first sprint, which is very exciting. We haven't fallen behind yet. And yeah, I'm just really excited to get this house on the market and get it done and move on to the next chapter. So I had a meeting with the real estate agents yesterday. So it's a husband and wife team. And they were fantastic. So I went directly to them because they have been in the industry for over 20 years, and they particularly focus on this area as well. So they know it well. And that to me is better than saving money on, potentially less experienced real estate agents. We're just trying to make this process run as smoothly as possible, and they've filled me with confidence. We spoke about what dollar figure I want and how we're going to get that, and they didn't gawk at me when I told them how much I wanted, which is always nice, and they actually did say that it was achievable. So anyway, that is it for this little wrap up and this vlog. As always, thank you very much for your likes. Thank you very much for subscribing to my channel. Thank you very much for even just clicking on the video. I do really appreciate it. We've gotten a few new subscribers this week from the last vlog, which makes me very happy. And if you do, or if you don't follow me on Instagram, my details for that are down below. But thank you very much for all of your support, and I'll see you next week.